Love isn't always simple, and passion often comes at a price. Welcome to Intrigue Romance, where secrets, betrayal, and forbidden desires collide. Tonight, we take you into a story you won't forget, where love is never what it seems. The clock struck midnight, its chimes echoing through the silent house. Outside, a cold wind howled, rattling the windows as if urging them to hurry. Emily stood at the doorway, her breath coming in quick, shallow gasps. Her fingers clutched a small bag filled with nothing but the essentials, some cash, a few clothes, and the courage it had taken her years to gather. Across the room, her 20-year-old son, Ryan, moved carefully, ensuring every step was silent against the hardwood floor. His heart pounded in his chest, a mix of adrenaline and fear coursing through his veins. He had never seen his mother like this before, so desperate, so afraid. "Come on, Mom," he whispered, glancing toward the staircase. His father, Mark, was a heavy sleeper, but they couldn't take any chances. Emily hesitated, her eyes darting toward the dark hallway that led to the master bedroom. The door was closed, but she could still feel the weight of Mark's presence behind it. She had spent the last 20 years trying to be the perfect wife, doing everything she could to keep peace in the house. But peace was a fragile thing when one lived with a man like Mark. She took a deep breath, steeling herself. "Okay," she whispered back, her voice barely audible. Ryan moved ahead, reaching for the front door. His fingers barely brushed the knob when a voice cut through the silence like a knife. "Where do you think you're going?" Emily's breath hitched in her throat. Ryan froze. Mark stood at the top of the stairs, his face barely visible in the dim light. But even in the shadows, the anger in his eyes was unmistakable. Emily instinctively stepped closer to Ryan, her fingers tightening around the bag in her hands. "Emily," Mark said, his voice eerily calm as he descended the stairs. "What do you think you're doing?" She had rehearsed this moment in her head countless times. She had imagined standing up to him, telling him she was done, that she was leaving. But now, face to face with the man who had controlled her for 2 decades, words failed her. It was Ryan who spoke first. "We're leaving, Dad." Mark's gaze snapped to his son. A bitter laugh escaped his lips. "We?" He shook his head. "Emily, tell me this isn't your idea. The boy is filling your head with nonsense, isn't he?" Emily swallowed hard.
"No, Mark.
"This is my decision." Mark's expression darkened. He took another step closer, his presence suddenly suffocating. "And where exactly do you think you're going?" His voice was sharp, laced with the same authority he had always wielded over her. Emily lifted her chin. "Away from here." Mark's jaw clenched. "You think you can just walk out?" He turned to Ryan. "And you? You think you can take my wife from me?" "She's not your possession," Ryan shot back. "She's my mother." Mark's eyes flickered with something unreadable, rage, disbelief, maybe even betrayal. He took another step forward, and instinctively, Ryan moved in front of his mother. "Move," Mark ordered. Ryan didn't budge. "No." Emily felt her heart hammering. This was exactly what she had feared. Mark was not the kind of man to let things go. He was used to control, to power, and the thought of losing it was something he couldn't tolerate. "Emily," Mark said, his voice lower now, almost pleading. "Think about this. Think about everything we've built." She swallowed the lump in her throat. "I have thought about it. For years. And you're willing to throw it all away?" Ryan answered for her. "She's willing to save herself." Mark's nostrils flared. "And what about you, son? Do you really think you can take care of her? Do you have any idea what the world is like out there?" Ryan didn't hesitate. "Anything is better than this." Mark's face twisted in anger. "You ungrateful." Before he could finish, Emily grabbed Ryan's hand. "Ryan, let's go." Mark lunged forward, but Ryan was faster. He pulled open the door, and together, they ran out into the night. The cold air hit them like a wave, but it was nothing compared to the rush of adrenaline. They sprinted to the car parked down the street, Emily fumbling for the keys with shaking hands. Come on," she muttered, finally unlocking the door. Ryan jumped into the driver's seat, starting the engine just as Mark burst through the front door. His furious shouts echoed down the street, but neither of them looked back. As the car sped away, Emily exhaled deeply, her body finally relaxing against the seat. They had done it. For the first time in years, she was free. Ryan glanced at her, concern etched on his face. "Are you okay, Mom?" Emily nodded, though tears pricked at her eyes. "I am now." They drove through the dark streets in silence for a while, the weight of the night slowly settling in. "Where are we going?" Ryan finally asked. Emily stared ahead at the open road, her mind racing. "Somewhere safe," she said. "Somewhere we can start over." Ryan nodded. "Whatever it takes, Mom. We'll figure it out together." A small, grateful smile played on Emily's lips. She had spent so many years feeling alone, trapped in a life that wasn't hers. But tonight, as she looked at her son, her protector, her strength, she knew one thing for certain. She wasn't alone anymore. And that made all the difference.